And it's good news with Dick Baumbach.
Who is Dick? No, I know. Thank you so much, Jeff Heiser. I'm glad to be here.
I am certainly happy that you're here today. We need some good news this week after what has taken place last week was pretty sad stuff there. I thought we were, I hate to talk about this on good news, but I thought we were headed towards a civil war or something with what happened at that baseball game.
Yeah, exactly.
That was that was pretty intense. For those that don't know, there was a shooting there, and it was rather unfortunate. But the congressman is doing much better, and that's good news.
Yeah, and I think the other gentleman that was in critical, he's doing a little better.
Yeah, they're all doing much better now. So your first story. Oh, before we get on the stories, let's recap on the winners that we had, or the winners, the contest.
Okay, Dawn Parlow, she won the first week, and then there were some relatives who tried to win. And we kept telling them no. And then some people came in too late, but they had the wrong story, etc. But Dawn did get her reward, and she is going to pass it on to her child.
That is just fantastic.
And it was, as you probably know, a $50 million. No, I'm only kidding.
$50 million ticket.
No.
Come on by and pick it up, Don. We're still holding it. Okay, so your first story today is about an NBA star who had no father, who vows to be the best dad he can be, and he is succeeding at doing that.
Yeah, this is really one of those good news stories that you don't hear about. The gentleman is Karen Butler, and he played for the NBA for the Sacramento Kings, and he was raised without a father and basically without a family.
Wow.
And he was on the streets, and what changed his life, he was 11 years old, and he had been caught doing bad things, and a judge told him that he had the ability to change his life, and when he had family, to change their life. And it hit him so hard, he ended up becoming an NBA professional basketball player, has kids now, and is treating them like a dad.
That's amazing. So what was it that the judge did? Did they say?
The judge basically told him that he had control of his life and that he could become successful if he chose to do that.
Wow.
And Karen thought about it because the judge did not send him to detention center or anything.
Right.
And so I wonder if that's good news coming in or bad news.
You never know.
But he just, from that moment, said it changed his life, and he takes care of not only his kids, but he helps others, and he tells them, this is what you need to do.
Wow. Wayne Dyer used to say a lot that the teacher will appear when the student is ready. And I guess that was one of the times.
That exactly it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And because he said, had that not happened with the judge, his life would be totally different.
Right. I have to share something with you about this. It's not always judges. We did an event a couple of weeks ago, and our sheriff, Wayne Ivey, puts on this event. And they brought in all these inmates to set up the tableware and the flooring, the dance floors, and all that stuff. And I was just really taken by how, I always thought it was like in Cool Hand Luke, where the guys, these guards were pretty relaxed. They have a good relationship. They're training these people how to do certain things, and I was really impressed with what was going on. And I don't know if it's because of our sheriff or if it's because that's the programs that they're doing or what, but it was pretty interesting to watch.
Well, and see, in that's really looking at the positive side of things,
Right.
helping people out.
Yeah, they were helping these people out. It was good. Your next story, and before we go on to this one, just remember this number. I think it's 96, okay?
Okay.
Family has adopted 88 special needs kids in the past 4 decades. Now, the reason I said 96 is I just read this article where the record for the most children born by a woman is 96.
I saw that too.
It's like, how could
can
you
do that?
How could you do that? It's like, holy smokes, that is
There's
a machine.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. I saw the same thing.
It was like, oh, man.
Well, did you see the story about the gentleman from India?
No,
He has 138 children by him.
that's unbelievable. That really is unbelievable. Anyways, here's a family that adopted 88 of those 138.
Yeah.
No, they adopted 88 special needs kids in the past 4 decades. That takes a lot to do.
And this is a story that just really hit me. And again, we haven't heard it anywhere else except for Talk Network Radio. This family is Mike and Camille Girardi, and they met in Miami, and 40 plus years ago, Mike was a pediatrician. She was a nurse.
Wow.
And they were helping special needs kids. And they, after 2 years of dating, they got married, and they said, we have a commitment. We're going to help these special needs kids.
Wow.
So they did that, and they eventually moved up to North Carolina and continued going with it. And then their house in North Carolina burned down, and a foundation they started to help this rebuilt them a house for the kids that they have. He passed away last year, very young, and Camille, who has not had a vacation in 40 years, her kids sent her on a 7-day cruise.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Now, did they personally have any special needs children of their own,
No.
or they just started doing this?
They started doing it. They were in a Miami hospital.
Wow.
And they just said, this is what we need to help these people.
That takes a special type of person.
Oh, it does.
It really does. Speaking of special type of people, your next story is about a 91-year-old who was robbed.
Yep.
And she cries as a cop brings her groceries and a gift card.
Yeah, and
That's amazing.
And this, again, is a story where...
Who would rob a 91-year-old, first off?
Well, what they did... Now, and when I saw this story, I said, wow. What they did is there were 2 of them that robbed her in a grocery store. One of them distracted her. The other took all the money and her credit cards out of her wallet. And she got to the thing. And so what happened is the police department responded, and the police officer paid for the groceries on the spot.
Wow.
And then what they did is they went back to her house 3 days later and gave her groceries for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And she just broke down crying.
Yeah.
They're not revealing her name
Right.
because they don't want anybody to. But the police said, this is what we're trying to do to help people.
Now, where was this at?
That's what I thought you were going to ask.
Well, while you're going through your article, I see people in the store all the time, women that leave their purse, and they'll walk over to the other side of the aisle or down the aisle or over by the meat thing, and their purse is sitting there right in the middle of the
Right?
the floor in the cart, wide open, and you just want to walk over and say, hey. But you're afraid of what they might say. But, it's like, hey, anybody could just walk over and take this and be out of the store before you even know it.
Well, see, and that, well, wait a minute. No, I'm only was going to kid there. But maybe we could do this thing at the public Super Bowl. No, I mean, it's sad but like my wife, I don't know about yours, but my wife, when we're shopping together in a supermarket, she will tell me when her purse is in the thing, stay there.
Yeah, my wife never puts it in there. And if she does, it's zipped up and she's got her arm still through it. And it's like,
no,
not going to happen.
Not going to happen. But this 91-year-old, I mean, it ended up a negative, ended up a positive.
Right. Now, where did this take place?
Again, another Florida story, Boynton Beach.
Boynton Beach. Yeah, I know a few of the people down there. That's pretty good. That's a really good, heartwarming story. Your next one is another pretty good one, especially seeing after what happened last week with the baseball game. Despite political divide, Americans gave even more billions to charity in 2016.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. And there is an organization called Fund USA that tracks everything. In 2015, Americans gave $3,379 billion.
What?
Okay. That's
wow.
To charities and to foundations.
Wow.
Okay. This past year, with all the things that went on and everything, $390.4 billion.
Wow. Wow.
And they said they were shocked by those numbers because they thought they were going to go the other way. And they did random interviews, and people said, where I donate, charity is different than the politics, it's different than anything else.
Right.
You know, and I mean, like, if you think there are charities all over the place and foundations.
Oh, yeah.
And like there's one right here, the Cornerstone Foundation. They help veterans and seniors who are on Medicaid.
Wow, never knew it.
Yeah, and they're trying every day to get money to help these people, and everybody's like, okay, I'll give you a couple $100. You know?
Wow. Well, that's the last couple events that we did. The one auction alone, which ran for just about an hour, raised almost $300,000. Wow. Yeah, it was like unbelievable. The sheriff was the auctioneer, but he literally raised $300,000, and there was 2 commissioners in the event that donated their entire salary for the year to it. Yeah, it was amazing. It really was. You know, they said the baseball game last week, they had more people show up for that baseball game than the Washington Nationals had at their home game, which is incredible.
And did you hear that they raised more money?
Yes.
For all of the foundations.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just a really, really good feeling it gives you inside. Well, that's it there, Mr. Baumbach. You have anything special for us next week?
Next week, we're going to have a very special, different program, and people should be standing by to hear it.
Most excellent. Until then, have yourself a wonderful week. Be safe and take care of yourself.
You too. Take care, Jeff.